Hey guys, it's Declan and welcome to my thoughts on movies, where I cover movies and some TV shows of all different genres, and I give my thoughts on them. Today I'm covering a movie called The Black Phone, released in 2022, starring Mason Thames as Finney and Ethan Hawke as the grabber. The film was directed by Scott Derrickson, who also directed Doctor Strange and Sinister, which also starred Ethan Hawke. This film had a budget of $16 million to $18 million, and had a box office outcome of $101.6 million. This horror film is really good for someone who likes a suspense gripper where you never know what happens next. You're left wondering what's going to happen next, and it's not going to be what you expect, because throughout the entire film it will blow you away because it's that suspenseful and surprising, and that makes this a great horror film for all people. Something that this film does really well is they know what suspense is. What I mean by that is the villain, or horror character called the grabber, he just shows up out of nowhere, and puts on a mysterious performance like you never know what might happen. But the outcome of the film is horrifying, but amazing as you would expect. Something that this film does really well is they know what suspense is. What I mean by that is the villain, or horror character called the grabber, he just shows up out of nowhere, and puts on a mysterious performance like you never know what might happen, but the outcome of the film is horrifying, but amazing as you would expect. Ethan Hawke's performance in this movie is something else that we have seen in his previous films like Sinister or Dead Poets Society, but it shows a different type of light on his career as the main antagonist, and fantastic acting from him, because he acts surprisingly creepy, and I wouldn't expect that from an Ethan Hawke movie, which I love. The grabber wears different masks throughout the film. When he abducts the main character Finney, shocking enough, Finney puts up well with the mental torture the grabber is making him go through for a big chunk of the movie. The masks are really well designed, because if Ethan Hawke were just to use his face it would still be good, but not as good as changing unique masks throughout the film, each one more creative than the last mask. As usual, I go to him to find the most interesting facts, so here are the top 3 facts from this film. The first fact is that the grabber dons several creepy masks throughout the film, each exposing different portions of his face. The mask was designed by legendary prosthetic makeup artist Tom Savini. The first time Mason Thames saw the iconic mask, he said it was terrifying, coupled with Ethan Hawke's bone-chilling performance as the grabber. The second fact is, the movie was delayed from its initial January 2022 release to June 2022, due to unexpectedly great preview showings. Once Blumhouse realized just how great early reactions were, they gave it a summer release date. And the third and final fact is the grabber is based on real-life serial killers, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and Jeffrey Dahmer. Ted Bundy would use a ruse to lure victims to help him to his car. John Wayne Gacy would use a belt on his victims. Jeffrey Dahmer had one victim escape from his apartment, only to be... If you want to watch the movie, after you are done with my review, which I'm grateful for, I'll give you the plot, so you know what to expect. Finney Blake is a shy, but clever 13-year-old boy who is abducted by a sadistic killer, and trapped in a soundproof basement, where screaming is of no use. When a disconnected phone on the wall begins to ring, Finney discovers that he can hear the voices of the killer's previous victims. And they are dead set on making sure that what happened to them doesn't happen to Finney. This plot was written by the bucket rider on IMDb. Finney has guts because he does whatever he takes to escape from the grabber. He listens to all the phone calls and their advice, and is willing to do whatever it takes to get out of the grasp of the wicked grabber, and that is how you know he is desperate to escape. I have seen many horror movies, but the Black Phone is a horror concept I've never seen before. Sure, I have seen abduction movies before, but nothing like this with a black landline phone involved, and Ethan Hawke does a spectacular job being a horror villain that no one has seen before, a mix between insane and a murderer, and hope to see that soon in more horror movies like this. And that's all of my thoughts on The Black Phone, and I give it an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching. This has been Declan, and my thoughts on the black phone.